is. Friday morning's going well. Ready for the weekend, you know. Shoot, another day. Every day above ground. It's a blessing, you know what I'm saying? So, I was conversing with a friend of mine, and they're going through, a lot of things right now. And, it's like, we all know what it's like when life is just constantly throwing curveballs at you. It's like, well, dang, when life keeps knocking you down, and it's like, well, dang, you get knocked down and you're trying to get back up, and then life kicks you in the gut, while you're down. It's like things just continuously back to back happening to you. And you're like, well, damn, am I going to catch a break? When you get that part of it, when you understand that, that right now you're just in that season, and just things are just going to keep happening. You got to stay strong. You got to push through it. You got to keep going. That's when you're going to be attacked in a way. You're going to be attacked. Everybody has like a weakness in their armor somewhere. Myself, I have certain things that once it hits me, it's just like, and I pray on those things, and I pray for strength in those areas. So, this individual, they're really good at looking at life for what it is and seeing that, and having faith and just saying, I'll be okay. Because I've been brought through worse, so I'll be okay. So this individual is really good at that. They've explained their story to me. And, it's very... Hold on. Somebody is making all that noise and going nowhere. And, it just made me look at them, in a new light. And I just like, hey, that's what's up, and that's strength right there. They've been through enough in their life, and they realize, hey, this is not going to kill me. Now, this person does have one particular, I don't even like calling it a weakness. It's not necessarily that it's a weakness. It's just, it's just like that gut punch, getting hit in the jugular. It just hurts that much more whenever something affects that particular thing. And, that person, that thing is occurring to them, and it's happening to them, and it's really taking them out of their element. And it's allowing certain thoughts to, to go into their minds. Listen, y'all. I don't care if you have made mistakes, if you have done this thing, if you have done that thing, whatever. There are certain things in your life that, when you stand firm on, when you're strong, when you know in your mind and in your heart you didn't do anything in that sense, then you should never let nothing or no one, influence your thoughts when it comes to that. I'll use me as an example. There was a time when, where, I know I'd done all I could for a particular person. And I know that regardless of however I handled a situation, I did my best to help a person. And, in a moment of weakness, after me and this person no longer spoke, in a moment of weakness from somebody else, they influenced my thoughts and made me feel like, damn, I didn't do enough. And I wasn't a great friend. I didn't do good, and I let their thoughts influence me, knowing that I did everything I could for that person, knowing that I did what I could at the time. And I made sure that I didn't necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? Because, I'm trying to protect the innocent. So, I can't put too much information out there. Well, let's just leave it at that. I know I did what I could for the person, but another person that was hip to the situation, would say certain things and made me feel like, dang, maybe I didn't do enough. Dang, maybe I wasn't the best of friends, and all of this type of stuff. When sometimes you'll get caught off guard in a moment of weakness, and that's when the enemy wants to attack you, especially in your weakest moment. Why would I mean that's what I would do if I was that type of person. I would attack a person at their weakest. I would hit a person where I know I would do the most damage. That's why it's like half the time I don't even knock people anymore. I just say, oh, that's how you get down? Bet. And I just move away from them. It's the art of war, Why wouldn't you hit somebody in their weak, when they're at their weakest? Why wouldn't you hit somebody at, their weakest point? So, I say that to say, y'all, don't let people influence, what you think of yourself. Don't sit there and let a person come and say something to you that'll tear you apart, that'll break you down. Well, that person, honestly and truly, don't have no right. It's hot, y'all. Don't have no right to even speak on the situation. You ever notice that people that speak on situations have absolutely no right to speak on it? You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I go through. You don't know my finances. You don't know what I've had to sacrifice. You don't know. We're not even that good of friends. So why are you speaking on my situation? You ever notice that? People that have so much to say about your situation is not even like a part of it, ain't even good with you like that. So curve them. Like, you don't have no right to speak on that. And and what am I doing sitting there letting you influence my thoughts? Letting you make me, in my mind, because I'm at a weak moment right now, make me feel even worse about myself. Or make me rewrite history and make me forget all the good that I've done. No. If you feel that way, if you feel like that's how I was, then, obviously you wasn't there to see what I've done. Obviously you wasn't there to do what I've done and to help out. And even if that is the case, if you're sitting there saying all of these things about me, if you're saying, well, Breeze, you could have, I was there. You could have, done A, B, and C. Why didn't you do A, B, and C? Or why didn't you come to me and say, yo, why didn't you do that? Or why didn't you come to me and say, yo, let me help you out with this? Hey, they still feel a certain way about that. Let's try to fix the situation, nothing like that. Because they had no intentions of doing that. Because they see when you try to do good, and they see when you try to help out, and they see when you try to move up in the world. And they take note of it, so that way later in life, when you're at a weak moment, they try to tear it down. They try to dismantle an accomplishment that you had. Don't let people dismantle any of your accomplishments. Whatever you did in this world, whatever seeds you sowed in this world, let them seeds, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the seed turns out to not grow into anything, it is what it is. God didn't allow that to happen. It is what it is, But there are other areas, there's other places where you've sown and that will grow. So, you keep your head up and you keep it moving. And those that try to trample on what you got growing, you take note of them. You look at them. I see you. I see you for who you are. I see you for what you think of me. You smile and you keep it moving. And you let God and you let karma and you let, reaping what you sow, you let the universe handle them. Because I promise you, everything comes around full circle. Everything. And you never know how it's going to affect the people. They'll never know how it's going to affect them. So you don't sit there and you don't worry yourself about getting revenge and about getting back at people, about cussing them out, about telling them off. You tell them that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And you keep it moving. Oh, okay. Bet. And keep it moving. And that's that. If I ever say bet to you, bet. Like you trying to like tell me off and I say bet to you, just know that I wrote you off. Like we done. Like we done. Don't even think to calling me no more. We done. It's cool. Have a good life. But you can't let people sit there and influence your thoughts, man. Like, and I tried to explain that to this individual, to this friend of mine. Don't sit there and well, I was a little harsher with it. I do need to be a little bit more careful because I tend to be harsh because I don't I don't like when people allow other people to make them look weak, and I don't like when other people allow other people to attack them, and then they, turn around and no, the heck you letting them get in your head for? Why are you letting them get in your head? You allowing them to get in your head. Because I don't know why you sitting there thinking that. You know you didn't do that. You know you had the best intentions. You know that whatever. So don't let them. And I know I could be a little mean sometimes. I probably shouldn't have said it like that, but y'all get the point. And and that individual gets the point. You can't sit there and you can't let people dismantle you like that. And I know in a moment of weakness, and I know when life tends to hit you below the belt, you'll have a moment where you have to really sit back, breathe, and gather your thoughts and get your mind right, But you got to always remember